we read. Now we can't go this way because our input, there's only one symbol in the input, it's 0. So we can't go this way, right? Because that's a 1. But we can go here because we read a 0, right? And we ignore the stack in terms of reading. We don't look at the stack because if we did, we'd see $1 on the top of it. So we ignore it, and then whatever's on the right of the arrow we push. Okay. So we're reading a 0 on the input string, and we push it. Okay. So now, and then we return back to state Q2. So now we're in state Q2. The stack is now the uppermost position of the stack is 0, and below it is $. Okay, so we now have two symbols on the stack. You with me so far? Okay, now that's the end of the string. So does this PDA accept that 0? Well, no, because it's in state Q2. It's the end of the input string, and we're not in an accept state, so reject. Okay? Reject. Because it is an automaton. Alright, how about a 1? A single 1 comes in. What happens? Well, again, we get, we put a $1 on the stack, and then we read a 1. So that's okay. We read a 1, and then we read a 1 in the input string, and it is a 1, so that's okay. Now we check this one. We read what's on the top of the stack, and we see that it is what? It's just $, isn't it? Hold on, what do you think? Wait. It's $. So that doesn't work. And that doesn't work because it's 0. That doesn't work because it's $. No, wait a minute. Yes, it's $, at the top of the stack. That doesn't work. So we have no way. There's no transition arrow. So it dies. Okay? And remember, we can have all this stuff going on non-deterministically, but that one dies. So the one dies. Now, similarly, say we had, so we've done the empty string, 0 and 1. Now let's do 0, 0. That should also not work, right? Because there's no balancing ones. Okay, so 0, 0. Push the $, 0, back to here. And then we read in another 0 and come back to here. And then it empties, the input string empties, and we're in a non-accept state, so it dies. Okay, and now how about 1, 1 comes in? So 1, 1, what will happen to that? Push the $, you read your 1 in the input stream. You look at now. This is reading what's at the top of the stack, and if it matches, then you do the transition. Well, it's a $, at the top of the stack, so that failed. It just dies. All right, let's do 1, 0. That should work. 0, 1. We'll do 0, 1. That should work. Where n here is 1. So let's do a 0 followed by 1. Okay, push the $. Now 0. We read a 0 here on the input stream. That's okay. Here we don't care what's we just ignore what's at the top of the stack, right? And we push a 0. What's on the right hand side? If it's not epsilon, then whatever that symbol is, push it. Okay, put it on the top of the stack. Okay, so we push a 0. So now our stack is at the top is 0 and underneath is $. Okay, so $0. All right, and then we read the next symbol. So we come back to the state. So we're in state Q2, and then we read the next symbol. Now it's 0, 1 coming in the input string, right? So we read a 1, that's okay, and we look at the top of the stack, and it is a 0, so that's fine. And so we make the transition, right? So we move into state Q3. Now why change states? Well, because you just loop through here as many times as there are zeros to start with, okay? And then when you get your first 1, then you change here, and then you're in a different state, and then you start popping if you remember the strategy for this, the general strategy of how to do it, then you start popping your stack each time you get a 1. So each time you're getting a 1, you're popping off a 0. Okay? So hopefully, if there's an equal number of zeros and ones, when you've popped your last 1, and you see that there's a $, $sign, and the input string at the same time has finished, then you know the ends are the same on zeros and ones. So and you'll end up here. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but anyway, you need this third state to indicate that now you've found your first 1, and now you're checking that each time you read a 1 on the input string, you will pop a 0 on the stack. Okay. All right. So okay. So we're back in Q2, and 0 and $, are on the stack, and then we read a 1 in the input string. We read we read what's on the top of the stack, and it's a 0. So this matches. Okay, so execute the transition, move to state Q3, and do nothing with the stack. Do nothing with the stack. Okay. So that means the stack remains at $0. So now we're here. Now what do we do? Now what do we do? Well, there's nothing more to be read. Okay, the 1 came in, so this doesn't work. Yeah, there's no second 1, so that loop doesn't work. Now, how about this transition? Can we take that one? So we ignore the input string. That's okay. We read. Oh, okay. I've left out details, right? When we read the 0 at the top of the stack, I forgot, and that matched, right? There was a 0 there. You have to pop it, right? So when you have a matching read, you pop. So read pop. Important little detail, but important. Okay. So so you did have $0, and then so this matched. Okay. So when that matches, the read here, you pop it, okay, and then ignore the stack. But so the stack has changed. It's now just $, right? Because the 0 above it has been popped. That's gone. So you're just left with $, now. All right. You can't use that one. So there's nothing coming into the input string anymore. There are only two symbols in it, 0, 1. Okay, so ignore the input stream. Have a look. You know, what's at the top of the stack? It's $. Yes, it is $. Okay, so this matches. Again, for the same reason as here, don't forget to pop the stack. Okay, so you pop the $, so now the stack is totally empty. You know, there's nothing in it, and do what the C, you know, the C position here. Do what that says, and what's it saying? Just ignore the stack. Don't do anything with it. Right. So it just leaves the stack totally empty. And but we do, you know, we make the transition because we matched here, right? And so we're now in Q4. That's an accept state. So accept. So 0,